Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. From the moment HBO's new Harry Potter TV series was announced in April of 2023, fans of the series have been buzzing with questions and excitement. Questions like, what will the series be about? Will it stay true to the original books? And most importantly, who will be in charge of the project? And since then, a lot of these questions have been answered. But perhaps the biggest lingering question mark surrounding the series pertains to casting. Because you see, so much of the Harry Potter film's success was a direct result of the incredible casting decisions that were made. For many of the roles, it's almost impossible to imagine anyone else undertaking them. But showrunners for the upcoming series have the behemoth task of finding people anyway. Back in September, an open casting call was announced for 3 of the most important characters in the series, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. And for these roles, I can almost certainly tell you that it will be relatively unknown actors that end up taking on the characters. But besides these 3, there are a few other massively important roles that are central to the series, like, Albus Dumbledore. And as it turns out, the studio already has someone in mind. According to Variety, Academy Award winner Mark Rylance is the top choice right now to play Hogwarts' beloved headmaster. Rylance, renowned for his role in the British drama Wolf Hall, is known for delivering many masterful performances, like his portrayal of the Soviet spy Rudolf Abel in 2015's Bridge of Spies, as well as the titular role in 2016's The BFG. While Warner Bros. Television has reportedly reached out to Rylance to gauge his interest and availability, he has yet to enter formal negotiations with the studio. HBO has acknowledged the casting rumors, but urges patience, releasing a statement, "We appreciate that such a high-profile series will draw a lot of rumor and speculation. As we proceed through pre-production, we will only confirm details as we finalize deals." So here are my thoughts, starting with the pros. First and foremost, Rylance is an excellent actor. I've watched him in a number of projects over the years, and his acting never disappoints. In 2016, he won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor for his role in Bridge of Spies. And his victory was certainly nothing to scoff at, as he managed to edge out some monster nominees like Sylvester Stallone, Christian Bale, Mark Ruffalo, and Tom Hardy. The next key point I want to focus on is that Rylance is a Shakespearean actor, something he shares with many of the most iconic actors from the series. Other Shakespearean actors include Richard Harris, Michael Gambon, Alan Rickman, and Kenneth Branagh, Dumbledore, Snape, and Lockhart, to name a few. Because Shakespearean training often instills actors with an ability to handle intricate dialogue, layered personalities, and the kind of subtle expression that Dumbledore's role demands, this sort of classical background could be the perfect tool in Rylance's arsenal. This foundation could also help Rylance to convey both Dumbledore's wisdom, as well as his complex, often concealed, inner struggles. His background in theatre also equips him with a mastery of language and presence that would suit Dumbledore quite well. The next pro for me is his age. As of now, Mark Rylance is 64 years old, and while he's certainly no spring chicken, and still a far cry from the 100-plus-year-old Dumbledore in the books, he's actually the same age that Michael Gambon was when he took on the role of Dumbledore in The Prisoner of Azkaban. And Michael Gambon had no issues whatsoever portraying a wise old wizard. Richard Harris was 71 when he first assumed the role of Dumbledore, and while he may have seemed slightly more in line with the age of his character, what we have to be mindful of here is that this new series is expected to run for more than a decade. Given the long-term nature of the project, Rylance's age seems far more appropriate, with him closing out the series at age 74. Now for the cons. This is a small one, no pun intended, but one of the first concerns I had was that Rylance may lack the physical presence of Dumbledore. Dumbledore is often portrayed as tall, imposing, and larger than life, with a commanding aura that matches his role as the headmaster of Hogwarts. And while Rylance is an excellent actor, he is much shorter than his peers at 5'8". With that said, I feel that Rylance could fit the other descriptors associated with Dumbledore quite well. The next point of contention for me is his acting style, which I feel could either be a massive success or a complete flop. Rylance has a style that is subtle, restrained, and deeply nuanced, and he excels in portraying characters with a quiet intensity, focusing on the emotional undercurrents of a scene rather than relying on overt expressions or gestures. Rylance's performances often prioritize the internal struggles of his characters, drawing attention to the complexity of their emotions and motivations. His approach tends to be introspective and deeply layered, with a focus on authenticity and emotional depth. And when you look at only these qualities, he does sound like quite a good fit for Dumbledore. However, his introspective style, in tandem with his less imposing physical stature, may make it difficult for him to project the more imposing side of Dumbledore's character that is unveiled in the series. I can envision him being perfect for the first 2 books, which, like the films, will be more innocent and childlike, but I'm having a harder time picturing him taking on the more commanding and authoritative aspects of Dumbledore's character that emerge later in the series. Dumbledore isn't just a wise mentor, but also a strategic leader, someone whose presence in a room demands attention and respect. It's also quite possible that I'm not giving Rylance enough credit, and after reviewing my own list of pros and cons, it has become clear to me that he is far more going for him than against him. Perhaps the showrunners are really onto something. Prior to this announcement, I had picked Brian Cox as my favourite for the role, a well-established actor who recently starred in HBO's hit show, Succession. Cox is currently 75 years old and is also a classically trained Shakespearean actor with an incredibly wide range in terms of acting ability. Given Cox's proximity to HBO and his Scottish heritage, I figured he'd be a solid pick. However, given the timeline of the show, it's possible that Cox is just a bit too old. In other news, David Haddad, president of Warner Bros. Games, recently shared with Variety that the development of Hogwarts Legacy 2 will be closely tied to the TV series, hinting that the game's storyline may incorporate elements to align with the show's plot. This coordination is part of an effort to create a more interconnected universe between the game and the series. But there's one big issue with this. Hogwarts Legacy and the events of the Harry Potter novels are set roughly a century apart. They've also announced on numerous occasions that the show will be consistent with Harry Potter canon, so I'm interested to see what they're going to do here. Namely, how exactly they plan to reconcile the time gap between the game and the TV series. One possible connection could be references between magical artifacts, characters, or long-standing locations to subtly link the 2 timelines. However, I know Harry Potter fans, and I'm not sure they're going to be too pleased about this. For so long, fans of the series have asked for one thing: a faithful adaptation of the books, and involving Hogwarts Legacy seems like it may just complicate things further. Canon is crucial in the Harry Potter fandom, and mixing in elements from different centuries without a logical bridge is just going to frustrate fans. However, we also have to remember that as of now, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is a complete question mark. Perhaps it isn't set in the 1800s like its predecessor. Perhaps the sequel will take place much closer to the events of the books, bridging the century-long gap and making the crossover with the HBO series a little smoother. But I suppose we'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully they're true to their word and create a series that is genuinely faithful to the books. On that note, that's it for today's video. What do you think of Mark Rylance as Dumbledore? And what are your thoughts on them connecting the show with Hogwarts Legacy? Let me know down in the comment section below. Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.